certain levels of frequency. Our thoughts create it, but what's more importantly is that how our body is naturally made and how we're thinking and how we're feeling all creates our reality. So when we have a frequency that we want to do something, and if our body's not matching, you're going to get a different result. And that's not a bad thing either, because the fact is that when we are unbalanced, it's not even unbalanced, it's just unaware. Does that make sense? So frequency, that is the creation of being able to not just have the life that you want, but also creating healing. Now there's 4 levels that you need to be aware of when creating self-healing, as well as creating a life that you want. In these 4 levels, I want you to imagine you're a pyramid, and all of these are connected. The bottom level is a physical level in the physical form. In this physical level, this is talking about your needs, your specific needs on earth, as well. It's a reminder to stay present. You need to stay present with who you are now. And the biggest way to be able to know how you are physically feeling is think about your feet. Think about your feet right now. How do they feel? Just focus on that. Cold, perfect. Cold, perfect. Okay, so when you start focusing on just the basics and the understanding of the physical self, you're going to understand what you need. So for example, my feet were sore. I took off my shoes because I wanted to be comfortable. And it's knowing your basic needs. And with physical intuition, that is the ability to be able to intuit by senses. So healers, as well as empaths, being able to see auras and be able to talk, it's actually quite natural. It's just using your senses to be able to create that. To be able to build upon that, again, you want to start with your feet. Start with your feet at all points. Especially when you're feeling really crazy and everything's just feels awry, take a moment, focus on your feet. How do they feel? Notice if there's any soreness, anything's moving. Then you start moving up your legs. And just take notice. What is sore? And then, if you notice there is something sore, something that is off, you just simply ask, what do I need? What is this? It is that basic to start being able to create that point. Now, the next level of this foundation is our emotional intelligence, emotional intuition, and self. It's actually one of my favorite places to be because, you, as an empath, as well as somebody who is naturally, I'm guessing most of you here are naturally introverted or naturally able to pick up feelings and emotions. It is one of our strongest aspects in our life because the emotions are meant to be felt. Emotions are our superpower because they are supposed to be fluid. When they are not, it changes our physical body. We will literally have changes in our physical body when that happens. I can give you an example. I had a fight with a friend that I really held on to it. And then I went to this man who was rubbing me, and he touched my leg, and he told me everything that was happening on that spot. You naturally, when trauma happens, when we start identifying our emotions to that memory, that changes our outlook on everything. So the next part with building a strong foundation is being able to go into your physical form, again, feel the pain, ask what that needs, and simply ask, is there a memory? Or what is this? Why is it here? And notice if there's an emotion that's going to come out. Because normally, there is a lot of emotions. We are actually meant and built to not just feel pain and happiness, but we can actually have the feeling of happiness and anger at the same time. Most people call that bipolar. I call that mastery right there. If you can feel anger and pain, as well as happiness, and be able to celebrate that, that is a really great place to be. Ways to be able to attain emotional intelligence or intuition is first to know your emotions, know what you're feeling, and voice it. I am feeling this. I am feeling uncomfortable. Ask why, and normally it's a memory, because we are all natural mirrors to each other. We all have our own realities and what we create. That is something to know about, because if I'm connecting with one person and I notice that I'm not feeling comfortable with what they're saying, it's a memory. It's not the person, it's the memory. So know your memories and just be at peace with it. And celebrate it too. If you figure out there's a reason why you're angry or nervous or upset, and you can figure it out, instead of trying to blame the other person that they're doing that, nope, you're feeling it, it's you. It's always you. We are our own narcissists in some ways, which is actually quite fun to be at. So know where you're at, celebrate where you're at, and then also let it go. Let the emotion go. So, and then if you're really stuck, this is where most people that I work with have stuck emotions. There's a few ways that you can really get it out. If it's a really traumatic experience, for one, is to live the experience. Allow yourself to feel the full emotions of it. But if you're just, say, really, really angry, take a whole day. I dare you to take a whole day and just talk about your anger. So just seriously, just feel it all. Scream it out. Feel it in entirety. It's so important to do that, because when you're able to do that, it lets it go, because you get bored after yourself. You can get bored telling your story over and over again. So again, start with the physical, then the emotional, because when you do that and you focus on the emotional point, your physical body will change, because your needs will change at that point. So being able to become aware of those points are really important. Now there is the mental level. What is mental intuition? What is mental, being mental? Yep. Mental intuition is simply being able to voice what you want, because our mind and our thoughts create everything. Everything in this room was by inspiration and thought. And that's pretty powerful when you think about that. Everything from these chairs to what we're wearing has been created by someone who used their imagination. That's pretty amazing. Now, with mental intuition, we have the abilities, of course, of telepathy and all that other stuff. All of us have these abilities to be able to do this. It's quite simple. But to be able to have a strong mental intuition, you want to be able to, at that point, take notice and write down what you want to create. That is a huge point, is actually putting into writing what you want to create, what your thoughts are. And from there, you're able to then align with what you want to create, how your body's feeling. And that's all taking alignment. So you can write down, I suggest writing because I love to write, but there's different ways to express yourself. But the easiest way is to write down what you want to experience, what your life wants to be. Notice how your body reacts to it, because we like to live so much up here sometimes, we forget about what's going on with our body and our emotions. Does that make sense? Yes? Yes? Okay, so as the introduction, I want to also start with doing a meditation with everybody, just so we can get in. Do you guys want to come forward a little bit, or do you want to stay where you're at? No? Because I'm going to start walking over to you guys, just saying, let's get uncomfortable here. Okay, so let's start with an opening meditation. I want you all to push down on your feet right now. Push them really hard into the floor. Close your eyes Take a deep breath in. Now hold it for 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release slowly. In that dead space, I want you to hold again for 4 seconds. Now breathe in again. 4 seconds. And breathe out. I want you to now, as you breathe slowly, focus on your heartbeat. And now, with your heartbeat, I want you to bring that down into your feet. Focus on each toe going into the ground as well as your heels. And I want you to feel like they're lead. Now I want you to imagine you're like a Xerox machine that's slowly and comfortably scanning your feet. And just take notice if there's any sore aspects in your body. Just take notice. You don't even have to let them go if you don't want to. But just allow the relaxation to go into your feet. And allow them to go into the ground and down. Now I want you to take that energy and go up your legs to all the way up to your legs, up to your knees, and just take notice of your legs. Notice if there's anything that's sore again, anything that you need attention to. And if anything is sore, I invite you to ask, and just ask, what is this? Is it an everyday stress? Are your legs tired? You need to rest? And as you continue to breathe, blow that out. Now bring this rest up to now all the way up to your stomach. Feel the soreness, feel the happiness, feel whatever your body is feeling. Now, I want you to focus now on your stomach. Notice if you're hungry or if you've been taking on other people's thoughts and emotions. What does your stomach feel like? What does it need? Very good. Now I want you to go up to your heart again. Breathe in. Now breathe out. Now I want you to think of one emotion in your heart that you want to feel. Is it peace? Is it happiness? Is it experience? And I want you to imagine that emotion of what you want to feel going through your whole body. Now I want you to take that emotion and go all the way into your head and out your head, into the heavens, and through your whole body as it's coursing. Now, when you're ready, I want you all to open your eyes. Take a few breaths in. Breathe out again. Good. Good job. Now this is a very simple exercise you can do every single day to relax your body. Also, it keeps you present. It's something that is very important for us to be able to do actively. There's active ways to meditate, which is one of the foundations that all of us should acquire to do. Meditation doesn't just have to be you sitting, chanting, and whatever, I mean, those are wonderful, and I do those. But staying present is so important, because when you're able to stay present, again, you can create anything, and you can heal anything. Now, when it comes to deep healing, I normally work with people who have had traumatic pasts, and also wanting to know, of course, most of the clientele that I have want to know how to increase your intuition. All of that comes down to knowing yourself and knowing where you're at and how to celebrate where you're at. That is so important, to celebrate where you're at. That is the most important place, because we like to focus on, this is where I want to go, here's this, and we forget about the steps of how to get there, because we can create the life we want anytime. And it's really that simple. So now, when you have to deal with past traumatic events, this one is a place where you have to learn how to feel safe. Feel safe within yourself. Because we have been trained to not feel safe within ourselves, to automatically start judgment, because it feels safer to judge and to go away versus actually to connect to people, but to connect to ourselves. With this principle, I love to help people feel that safety, and each one of you have different ways to feel safe. I couldn't tell you there's a universal way to feel safe, because we all are made differently and we have different stories. But there are some exercises that you can do when you're in meditation to feel safe. The first one is to call upon whatever your belief system is, if that's angels, if that's guides, or it's just to ask for safety. You go into your heart, you feel it. You can start feeling the anticipation and the nervousness of that. And you ask, can I please be safe? Whatever it is, allow me to be safe. Because that opens your body to feel safe. It's the first exercise you can do. The second exercise you can do to feel safe is actually making yourself uncomfortable. Going to the people that make you uncomfortable is a more direct way, but is, to me, at least for myself, it is the best way. And doing things that make you uncomfortable, because you realize you're safe at that point. So there's different extremes of that. When it comes to trauma, though, real trauma, I live in a place where we are the highest in the nation for child molestation, rape. Alaska is an extreme state. It's a beautiful state, but we have a high amount of that. And to feel safe, I teach people how to write stories for them to feel safe. Writing your story changes your frequency. How you tell your story changes your frequency. That's the mental aspect and the emotional. So write down what your story is about. We all have stories. I don't want to hear about spirituality and we're not our story. We are our story because we're living here physically in this ground, so we need to anchor here to be able to grow and connect. Write your story. Tell your story. Anyway, auditory or whatever you want to do. Listen to it. Listen to the words when you start blaming the outside. Because you need to circle those words. For example, if I said, I'm uncomfortable because this person's here and I don't want to talk to them. Really, I would circle at that point, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to be up here. And you can, from that point, pull what's going on. It's really that simple. And so then you can start changing your story by saying, I am comfortable with being here. And forget about the other person, because it's never about the other person. Your experience is your experience, and it's powerful and it's beautiful. And that is so important to know. So I want you to start implanting words that are beautiful to you. So, for example, I can tell you my story right now. I'm an introvert. Talking to people, I love talking to people. I don't like getting on stage. I don't like talking to people. I've done workshops. I work with people one-on-one. It's great. But talking in front of people, that makes me really uncomfortable. So I wrote that. I wanted to change that. How would I change that? I want to master public speaking and communication. I've signed up for Toastmasters, which puts you in a box, not really my thing, but I've signed up to make myself uncomfortable now. But you can see when you write down your story, ways that you can have resolution. Resolution is one of the biggest aspects that we need to be able to create healing. And it's that easy when it has to do with trauma. Now, working with people, here's another way to do it too, is this is all individual, but we as a society and as a collective need to work together to evolve together. It's not an individual thing. We can actually heal together. How do we do that? If you're in a place that you don't feel good about yourself, can you still heal somebody else? Yes. You are always the teacher. You are always the student. And even when you're not feeling great, just being able to identify, I feel like crap. I don't feel good. I got up this morning, I am not a morning person. Saying to get up at 9 a.m. I had to get up, I was up at 7 and it's hot here. I'm from Alaska and this is hot here. And so I was just going off in this morning. What is wrong with these morning people? What is wrong with them? You know, and if I really wanted to be spiritual, I'd be like, well, how do I feel better? No. Celebrate that, write it down, depending on it. Now, the other point is celebration, celebrating where you're at. I celebrated by going off and feeling it. I was going off, one of my dear friends and workers that work with me, she hears me all the time going off. And this morning, this was the same. I was like, this is ridiculous. I am here. Oh, I am here. Okay, well, you know what? Screw that. I don't want to be here. Morning? Are you crazy? I have to get here at 9. And so I got rushed, and my body would not let me rush. But then I've trained myself now that I just follow my body. My body does it, even if I'm freaking out. But celebration comes through the mental side normally. It's all of these it's not even need to be aligned. We already are aligned. You are aligned, you're aligned. Everyone is aligned. Period. There's no off path. There's no, this is not working. It's just needs attention. Period. When you're able to actually feel the physical, feel the emotional, hear the mental, and then celebrate whatever emotion you're having, you let it go. You simply let it go, and you can produce. When it comes to, again though, I'm going to go back to actually healing with other people. You just need to show up. It's not about, especially where we are from, when it comes to isolation, depression, suicide, the root cause is, in my opinion, disconnection. not being connected to people, feeling that your life doesn't matter. That's a hard place to be. And unfortunately, I know a lot of people like that. And when you're in this place, you still can heal others and you can still heal yourself. Because unfortunately, living on this plane, we are going to experience traumatic events, but we also can experience a life that's not just worth living, but one that's beauty. I believe this is heaven on earth because we can create whatever heaven we have. And I think it's our responsibility as individuals to be able to do that. So now when you're working with somebody else and they are in that place and you know they're in that place, it's not about disconnection. Be with them. Ask them, how does it feel? Physically, mentally, emotionally. Let them tell you. Allow that emotion that they're feeling to go through you. It's not a bad thing. Just allow it. Because when you allow it, they're going to be able to heal. And also you're healing yourself and you're growing. Because we are natural mirrors of each other. We all are. We all have the ability for beauty. We all have the ability for a full life. We already do. Your life is already fulfilled. So start living now. I wanted to do an exercise with you guys to be able to work your emotional side. Because the reason why we don't feel our emotions is because we take ourselves too seriously. Curiosity is such a big point, but we need to learn how to actually train our emotions and our thoughts to be curious and also to play. And you don't have to do it here. If you don't want to, but I think it'd be kind of fun to do. And then also you wouldn't take yourself so seriously when going through this, because this doesn't have to be a serious matter when you're actually healing. So I want everyone to stand up. 10 minutes. Okay, thank you. Good. Now I want everyone to put their hands above their head. I first want you to just go, ah. Let's do it again. Ah. Roll that energy forward. Okay, let's try it again now. I'm going to put it down. So we're going to do it again. Now I want you guys to do a face while doing it now. So I really want to hear it. And then if you want to throw it down. I want you to throw it at me. Ready? So we're playing ball. Up. Do that 5 times, and if you are at that point still serious, then you seriously need to make fun of yourself. Take a few minutes and just be like, are you serious? I can't even do that? What is going on? The next one you can do is, I don't have music with me, but one of the things I do with my kids in the morning, we do this every morning, is you have music started, and it's called a freeze dance. So you start up, you start moving, and you do this with a friend or something, you freeze. And then when you stop, you have a movement, and you stop in it. And then you scream at each other, ah! And freeze. And then if you want to get more spiritual into that, start with your throat. Do that 3 times. Scream with your throat in a crazy thing. Start dancing again. Then you move to your heart and you focus on feeling that in your heart. And so the ways to open your heart is, of course, the famous ah. But just focus that energy there. And every single time, your goal is to change your movement. can't be the same. And that actually gets quite challenging. But for kids, they got it. You want to play this? You want to do it? You guys want to try it? You want to try it? Okay. All right. Okay.
Let's get this party started. I swear I'm cold-hearted. There's no negotiation. I'm not here for debating. You need some motivation? Just look at Ben's face, then ask yourself how long you think I'll remain patient. I'll throw him overboard and let him swim with killer sharks.
Was that fun? They need to do a better job. They did it. One more time. Come on, people. You could feel how stiff we are, right? As adults, we're like, right? Versus giving the fullness of who you are is to push all that mental energy that we have. We're going to actually bring it into our center and push it out, right? So all you men in here, when you're like, oh, like, where's all that masculine energy? So yes, we want to do the throat first? Okay. So when you say, oh, no, right? Men have those big, fill your lungs up. And all that warrior, you have that, oh, right? So can we, when we make and stop the music, let's hear some men, oh, and then we'll feel it in our chest, yeah? Okay, ready? I know you can do it. Go ahead and dance. Sounds good, baby? All right. I know. So you can dance with all right, ready?
You either hands over the wands or he'll be ripped apart.
Now let's all just be smart. Although for you that must be hard. You'll get your wand. No one has to come to any harm. Don't try to intimidate. Your bark is much worse than your bite. Who's the baddest of them all? I guess we're finding out tonight.
Let's go, bring it on. Better give us what we want. It's the one for the crown.
Oh my goodness, that's so awesome. Hey, I see some guys over there. They didn't move at all. Should we do it one more time? Oh, the guys over there. What, baby, should we do it one more time? Yes. Yes, I want to hear. I want to feel that heart. Let's go back. So when you give that energy, right, you're going to fill up your chest and then portray, right? So you're going to open. Men have such a huge electromagnetic field that is designed to pulsate and protect us women. Think about that, okay? That's what you are designed to do for us. So when we're dancing, take in that breath, and when I stop, I want you to think of your loved ones, men and women, that are receiving that, and project that from your heart center, not just to the people in this room, but the people that are in this city that have been affected by the tragedy. And through your love and through the power that is masculine, we're going to reach them. And even though they can't consciously know, we're still going to flood them with the love that you men carry and want to protect us. Sounds good? All right. Yay, you're so excited. Okay, here we go, babe.
It's going down. Let's go. Make your move. Piece of war, it's up to you. Give them up and do
That's
it.
right. Move your body. Move your legs.
Your time is running out. You should really watch your mouth. Let's go. Pound for pound. We're prepared to stand up. Put your swords
Take a
up.
deep, big breath.
Going down.
Take a deep breath in. Awesome. Awesome. You could actually feel if you were paying attention, this is where we're talking about the physical point, is you could feel on your skin goosebumps, right? So you could feel that energy vibrating, and that's pulling in from your heart center, your physical, and because with our intention, right? So you're pulling all the bodies together to anchor, not just in the physical form, but reaching out to people who aren't even conscious that we're doing this. So awesome job, guys.
You guys were absolutely awesome. That was awesome. My face hurts because I'm smiling. Need to smile more, apparently. It's like, it's a cramp there. Wow. Okay. So, again, I'm just going to reiterate. These 3 principles is actually how you're going to open up to spirituality. In my definition, spirituality is the belief and knowing we are all connected. There is no separation. Everything matters. Everything. Your thoughts matter. Your emotions matter. How you feel matters. All of it matters. To end your day or to begin your day, this is my favorite of all time affirmation that I tell everyone, and try it. I want you to look in the mirror next time, and I want you to try this for at least 30 days. Every morning or night, say, my thoughts matter. How I feel matters. What I think matters. What I have to say matters. My life matters. When you do that, you don't just heal yourself, you also start looking at how important it is for everyone else, and everyone else's thoughts, feelings, and emotion matters. And also, spirituality has to do with creativity too. So your creativity expands. And at that point, when you start getting those zings of what you should be doing, you then just allow your body to take the step. Because, again, to me, spirituality is listening and connecting in. But you're going to be guided. And all of you in here, I know every single person on this world has had an intuitive thought or has given you information. When you trust your body, you trust your emotions, you know what is yours, then you know what belongs to everybody else. You are allowed and you should have the trust and the faith in yourself to take that next step and just move forward. Okay, again, I'm Alana Marie. I'm here till Sunday. I want to introduce you to my beautiful friend, Jay. Yes. Yes.
Hi, my name's Jay, and I just moved to Tennessee, but I used to live in Alaska, so.
Yes. Yes. And thank you guys so much for coming. If you have any questions, I'll be back at the booth. And I look forward to connecting with you guys.